My name is Bill Wong, and I'm the Housing Director for the City of Pasadena. Los Angeles County is unfortunately the homeless capital of the country. We have by far the most homeless persons in anywhere in the country. The last homeless count, there were over 1,200 homeless individuals here in Pasadena on any given night. Way too many for a city of 137,000. We've seen an unprecedented loss of resources on a state and federal level. The need is not going away. In fact, the need continues to grow, but the resources are really diminishing. And we are stuck right now in this kind of perfect storm of increasing needs and rapidly diminishing resources.
There's no question that the recession has brought many, many people to the verge of homelessness, to the verge of poverty. There's a lot of work to do. Partnership is important. I think the religious community certainly can play an important role in acting out their values. Those in our community who can't take care of themselves or are forced for various reasons to live on the street in abject poverty. I don't believe that that is acceptable in our society. Unfortunately, there are a lot of partners in the religious community who believe the very same things.
My name is Juliana Serrano. I'm the director of the Office for Creative Connections at All Saints Church. The Office for Creative Connections is essentially the community outreach ministry for the church, or the urban ministry. You know, there's the story or quote at least of having the Bible in one hand and the newspaper in the other, and I think that that's very true for our community. We're listening to what's happening in the world and that we're responding based on our biblical and theological values. I think that if Jesus were here right now, that he would most certainly be hanging out with the poor, the hungry, the homeless, and those who are unemployed and underemployed during these tough economic times.
ECPAC is a council of more than 50 congregations in the Pasadena areas that come together to alleviate the effects of poverty. People of good heart want to give at the moment. If they see someone who's homeless on the corner, they'll give them money, or they'll give them food, or they'll do something that both satisfies their own need to make a difference and to take care of the person at the corner. Unfortunately, that is not helpful in the long run. There are many resources for people to get food. What is needed is the money for the homeless services that will help raise people out of homelessness. What they don't need is a hand out. They need a hand up. They need people to understand them. They need people to help advocate for them and work with them.
The next step is to house them, not temporarily in an emergency shelter or in transitional housing, but to move them into permanent housing, to literally end their homelessness one person at a time. And we launched Project Housed last August. It is a program designed to house the most vulnerable chronic homeless individuals here in the city. Really, those who are most likely to die if they don't get housed. One hand, it's the humane thing to do. It's the right thing to do for these people who are in very frail health. I was talking to a public health doctor up in San Francisco, and he was telling me about a homeless individual who had just gotten his leg amputated in the hospital. And that leg infection that was the reason for the amputation was caused by a blister on his foot that didn't get treated. On the other hand, there's a strong economic argument for doing a program like this. Chronic homeless population are frequent users of very high-cost social systems, emergency rooms, for instance. Every time a chronic homeless person is admitted into the hospital, they stay an average of 11 days at a cost of $155,000 per occurrence. Because of the loss of resources, it's been very, very difficult even to maintain the programs that we have had for many, many years. My family, they asked, Dad, how was your day? And I was lamenting and saying, well, lousy. We've come to the conclusion that we can no longer continue to support the bad weather shelter. My high school daughter sort of, perked up, and I could see the gears working in her brain, and her eyes sort of lighting up, and said, well, Dad, I'm looking for a leadership project. How about I do a leadership project, around trying to fill that gap?
I started a campaign called Friends of the Bad Weather Shelter. I'm looking for businesses or individuals to become friends of the shelter by donating. I've also gotten some help from Art Center College of Design. They've designed a bus shelter poster. We have about 20 of them scattered throughout Pasadena. I've gotten them printed on shirts now, which are being sold for $20.
This year, we served up to 18 families a night. We're able to feed them for 2 months in the evening and make sure they have a good night's sleep. This effort, which is an effort of the heart, we have to do this. This isn't an option. This is essential for the people of our city.
We're going to solve the affordable housing crisis on a wide scale. It needs the partnership and collaboration of a number of different entities. Government entities such as Los Angeles County, municipal entities such as the City of Pasadena.
A beautiful example of that is just the fact that this church campus is right across the street from City Hall. I don't think that that is an accident. We must work with our elected officials in terms of changing policies and making sure that we're creating a more peaceful and just world.
My ultimate vision would be that in this country we see an end to homelessness and an end to poverty. And it would be wonderful if organizations like Union Station could fold up our tent and disappear because there was no more need.
We're building lives from the ground up again. When somebody's laying on the ground, we don't just walk over them, we extend a hand to help them up. We start at the bottom and work our way up to the top.
We know what the right thing is to do. We know that. So we have to work together to keep acting out those ideals and those faith messages that we have been taught.
Our parish community has really engaged in and supported the nonprofits that we have formed over the years. It's not uncommon on any given night to go over to Union Station and find some All Saints parishioners helping out in the kitchen.
We've got to do more with less, and we've got to do more with our partners who have always been there to help us, and all try to leverage the resources that we have, coming up with new and innovative solutions, thinking outside of the box.
It gives me a sense of hope. If she can raise $18,000, if she can do it, I can do it.